So, I just finished 20th Century Boys, and I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. This manga is considered by many the best manga of all time. So, before I get into what I don't like about the manga, I want to let people know that I would give this manga a 7.5 out of 10, and I will also be mentioning the things that I like about the manga in this video. However, the main focus of this video is going to be on the things that I don't like. So it's going to sound like I hate the manga more than it actually is. I didn't mind the manga, I didn't think it's bad, I still think it's good. However, there are parts of it that are so bad, it just left me very disappointed. So let me start with what I like. I think the characters in this manga is super well written, start to finish. It's one of the things that at every single point of the manga I really like is the characters. They're all very well written, consistent from start to finish. And second thing is this story is very good overall. And I know that sounds very vague and I will get into why. I don't actually like the whole story, but up until the second time skip, which in my opinion is where everything fell to shit, I thought the story was very good. So let's get into the things that I didn't like. First of all, the pacing is not good. Felt very dragged out, especially starting from the middle. Starting from the first time skip, the pacing is just slow and feels really dragged out at parts. That's what I also heard even fans of the series will say about 20th Century Boys. So for this one, I don't really need to explain too much. It's 249 chapters, and I do think that it could have been done in 200 maybe. And that's because of the second thing that I dislike about this manga, is that there's too much mystery. There's so much mystery that every single little thing, every single little side character that comes up, they have to introduce it with a mystery. They cannot just tell you who the person is, they have to make every single thing a mystery. And in the beginning, it was fun. You're always trying to figure out the new mystery. You always have something to think about. You always have something to look forward to. But after maybe 100 chapters, after so many small mysteries, one after the other, it gets so tiring. And it just goes on for the whole manga. Every little thing needs to be a mystery. Like one of the characters will just go, "Hey Kenji, why do you have such a big bulge?" And there will just be a 5 chapter long mystery that ends with, "Oh wow, Kenji actually has a Viagra addiction" or something. It just gets so annoying. Not to mention the whole story is also a mystery. So it's like there's this huge mystery, and in order to get there, you need to do 10 small mysteries to get a clue for the main mystery. And it just gets so tiring. And I know this sounds like some IGN bullshit, too much mystery, like too much water. But it just really made me tired of the manga. Starting from the middle, it just really started to hit me. Like it just felt like a chore with how many little, I guess, side quests that you need to do. It gets so tedious. And the last one is my main problem, is my big thing, because these two things that I don't like about the manga, if the manga still has a really good story and it still ended up really well, I would have given it an 8. However, I think the story is very good, but starting from the second time skip, everything fell to shit. Nothing works past the second time skip except for the characters. Like I said earlier, the characters are the only thing in this manga that remain consistent, remain very well written from start to finish, but the story past the second time skip is just horrible. It completely ruins the story. It just doesn't make any sense. And some people say that it's excusable because of the theme of the manga, which is just, it just sounds like cope to me. The second time skip felt like it just undid everything that happened. Without spoiling anything, there will be characters that died that just comes back because it's convenient. And the reason they give for it is so stupid. It's so lazy. I really didn't like the part past the second time skip, including 21st Century Boys. I think anything past the second time skip is just bad. I don't think there's any excuse for it to be this bad. And especially when the second time skip is about the last 49 chapters and also 21st Century Boys. So it's like maybe 55 chapters. It's already the last 50 chapters. I already am so tired of the dragged out pacing and just every single little thing needs to be a mystery that I just find it really hard to actually enjoy the manga at that point. And with the story being so bad, it's just I don't know how this is excusable for the fans. I actually want to hear from the 20th Century Boys fans that think it's like the best thing ever, because I don't see how you can excuse the part past the second time skip. It's so bad, it completely ruins the entire story. And I don't understand why people just think it's excusable. And it's not like Urasawa Naoki is just a bad mangaka or anything. I'm not claiming that. Like, for example, I also read Pluto. Pluto is so much better, even though there are things that I didn't like as well, such as beginning, maybe the first quarter or first third of Pluto. The pacing is a bit slow, it's more world building during the first third, but when the story starts, it just keeps going and it's so well done for Pluto. However, for 20th Century Boys, the ending is just so bad. I feel like it just made the whole manga a waste of my time, because the whole time the manga before the second time skip, I've kept reading it even though I think it's dragged out, the mystery is getting a bit tiring. But I thought maybe if the ending is good, all of this will be worth it. All of this time that I put into this manga with 249 chapters will be worth it if at the end there's a satisfying conclusion or the story keeps getting better and better and better. But it didn't. It didn't get better. Instead, it just fell off a cliff. And it's just really disappointing. I went into this manga thinking I would have a new 9 out of 10 manga or something insane, but what I left with is just something that I might forget about if it's not as popular as it is. There's also this one more problem that I want to add on here that becomes worse and worse as the manga goes on. And that is how they just want to stretch the mystery, and it's not even about the slow pacing that I mentioned earlier. They will just give you a mystery and you have something to be like, oh wow, I wonder what's going on. And most of the time they'll connect to the childhood flashbacks and all that, and they'll give you little clues here and there. But the thing that annoys me so much, and this becomes so much more common during the later half of 20th Century Boys, is the fact that every single time they will just show a character looking at the culprit, but you can't see it. You will be looking at the character that you know, and then the culprit will be off the panel, off camera or something. So you can't see it, even though the character already knows. And they do that to stretch out the mystery for another few chapters. That annoys me so much. They didn't do it once, they did it for almost everything past the second time skip, and it gets so annoying. Like, the characters already know who the culprit is, just let us know. Stop dragging it out. Stop showing the characters off camera. That just grinds my gears. I don't get it. Why would you still want to drag this out? This is so long already. Especially when most of these mysteries aren't even like the huge, big reveal, because past the second time skip, without spoiling anything, the main mystery has been resolved and there's a new mystery. And most of the time, the things where they show the main character, whatever character that you know, looking at the culprit saying, oh, it's you all along, but you cannot see it because the person is off camera. Most of these mysteries as well is not some huge thing. It's also one of those side mystery, one of those side quests that I mentioned earlier that becomes really tedious as the series goes on. And not only are those still a thing, which again, as I said, if the story still has a satisfying conclusion, I would have excused it. But they just want to stretch it out even more. These side mysteries are already so common that I don't care about them anymore, and they still want to drag it out. And I just get so tired of it. Especially in the second time skip, there's this mystery where it's like, oh, who's this person playing the music on the radio? And it just turns out to be a character that you have barely even heard of, that have no screen time whatsoever. And then for a huge part of the second time skip, it's them trying to figure out who it is that is playing this music on the radio, but it's someone that you don't even know. So why can't you just introduce that person? Why do you have to make this a mystery? And it's not even short. I remember a huge part of the second time skip is about this person that is playing Kenji's song on the radio, and it just gets so annoying. And I don't want people to misunderstand how I feel about this manga. I still really love the characters even until the very end, especially Kana. Kana has such good character development throughout the series, seeing her from a baby to a grown-up and how her personality changes. I think all of the characters are super well written, but oh my god, is the story bad. It's so bad. So those are my complaints for 20th Century Boys. Fans of the series, I want to hear what you think about the part past the second time skip. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. I actually want to discuss this with people that actually like the series and find the part past the second time skip good. And that's about it. If you have watched the video until this point, consider liking and subscribing, and check out my other videos. Bye.